I really hope you can forgive me. You see, New Year's Day I put a video out saying I was going to be making 52 videos based off your suggestions, and I was going to write a song, a chorus, a verse, and produce it using random sounds that you guys suggest, random objects in random places with a random topic about what to write the lyrics about. That was going to be my challenge this year, and that's still going to happen, trust me, that's still going to happen. But what happened was very unexpected just after I released that video. Okay, let me be a bit more transparent. Now what happened was planned. I had a single coming out on the 10th, which was part of the album that you guys watched and enjoyed last year. I had a single coming out on the 10th, which was part of the album that I travelled and recorded last year that you guys all watched here. And that single was dropped on the 10th. Ironically, the song's also called Drop By, featuring Grace Pashley. Great song, could not be happier about it. Now what I didn't plan was that all the planning and all the promotion and everything to go into that, I had scheduled at the very beginning of the year last year. So long story short, a lot of stuff got in the way and there was no chance, absolutely no chance, I was going to be able to film, record and edit and make this video. So needless to say, that didn't happen, and I'm really sorry that didn't happen last week. And this week, it's just... Okay, so about half an hour ago, I got news that Drop By, not only did we get over 1,000 streams on day one of release last Friday, half an hour ago, 4 days into the release, I get the news that we're going to be played on Radio 1 Extra by Jam Supernova. I mean, what? I also have one of the biggest Radio 2 DJs listening to the song right now. I'm not going to disclose his name because he doesn't know if he can fit it in the show, because understandably, The Breakfast Show is a busy scheduled show. But all of this is happening and it's stopping me from making the videos that I was intending to make. So what I'm going to do today is show you the project of how I made Drop By. It makes most sense. You guys are enjoying the song, it's being streamed, and those of you here on YouTube are here probably because of like songwriting production stuff, right? So why not show you the process of making Drop By this week? Try not to make things too difficult for myself and enjoy the fact that the song is getting good radio play. You see, in life, if you spend all your time trying to make something that you're really proud of, and then you don't appreciate the moments that stuff happens that goes well, like Jam Supernova is going to be playing it on Radio 1 Extra tonight. If I don't sit and enjoy this moment, then why am I making music? Why do any of us make stuff if we don't actually be conscious enough to be aware of the good moments? So today is a good moment. Let's have another week off doing what I said it was going to do, and then beg for forgiveness and show you this project. So should we get straight to it? If I don't move that, I am asking for trouble. Anyone else do that? Put the tongue out when they're trying to concentrate. Come on, you've all done it. If you tell me you haven't done it, I don't believe you. In the slightest, not even a little bit. Alrighty, diddle do. Right, this project is probably, in terms of big productions, one of the most simple projects I've done in terms of my approach. When Grace came into the bus, well, we actually went for a walk first and talked about a lot of stuff. I had set my mind on what I kind of wanted the song to be about in terms of like the conversations that we had. I knew what the topic was going to be. I just really wanted to make a loop. This whole song started off with an 8-bar loop, which I'll show you now. So I had this melody on piano and it was like ring ding 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 ding, but it was just on a normal piano sound. And then I tried it on Fender Rhodes, and then I found this sound and absolutely loved that sound. We all did. I think I just found it on the keyboard and we were like, oh, that sounds cool. So this is how this whole song started out. Literally just that, we were in. So normally on top of this, I would use like samples that I've either previously gathered and found or samples from certain sample libraries that I've got, and just start building up a beat. But for some reason, I went against all my norms and started using MIDI, which I'm normally like, So started using MIDI and just built up just basic sound stuff. That was it. That was the main beat. At this point we knew we had the song. A lot of it is just a matter of making up layers. Now amongst all of that you've just heard, obviously we've got a lot of mixing, so I mean, wow, I mean, just freaking look at that stupid I mean, that's not good for your CPU. I don't know, George, what were you doing? This project goes against every norm and everything that should sound good. I mean, we've got MIDI drums. Why do they sound fine? Why do they sound good? In fact, a little tip I'm going to throw in there, one little thing, and I do this on all my drums, even if I'm using samples, is you can see the hi-hat here. I play it in because then you get that human feel a lot more. So you can hear that the hi-hat is like... You just emphasize some little moments a lot better. So little tip, rather than having them all the same volume, just makes it feel a bit more human. So I layer it, lots of different things, bit of clave. Little sample there. So then I add back in the original sound. I mean, it's pretty much there, right? Nothing else. And do you know what's interesting about this song? I don't even have bass in it. There is no bass in this song. Kick drum is it's just meaty enough. I remember sitting down to go and add bass to it, and I was like, this song doesn't need bass adding to it. I don't feel like I'm doing it for the sake of it, you know? However, there was one thing that was missing. Now, in most of my productions, I have like a texture or a drone note or something going on in the background that basically fills up that empty space, so that when you want empty space, you remove that kind of thing and it just adds a whole different dimension to a song. I couldn't work out what to do for this one, but I was just going back to my roots and I was just noodling around whilst we were jamming and having a laugh. And I just played this on piano. 3 notes. Well, it's 4 notes, but as in there's 3 notes that go. Now, hear what that does to fill up that space. Without it. With it. So much space is filled by that just repetitive piano thing. All it is. The next thing I really wanted to take advantage of was Grace's voice. I mean, how can you not? How can you not want that voice at the forefront? Be all and end all. So textures, again, I wanted to get some oohs, some ahs, and basically build up like a vocal pad. And this is what we came up with. Oh, I've not heard that on its own for so long. You've got my voice there at the bottom, the low note, and then you've got two of Grace. So throw that into the mix of everything else that's going on, and we got. Yeah. One of my huge inspirations actually is a guy called Robert Glasper. Now Robert Glasper is like a jazz, he's like a jazz pianist, but he has got a couple of albums out where with full band production, and he gets featuring artists, and very much firmly planted in like future soul, neo soul kind of roots, and I love everything that he does. And on his album he uses this, it's like a sax, but it goes through a lot of synthesizer pedals, and it just adds a really cool atmosphere in the background. And I kind of used that idea on this by adding this little solo instrument, which is kind of my like signature sound. A lot of people recognize the sound as being something I use a lot. Just huge space, so much delay all over it. You can just hear the delay on it. So you add all that in. And as you can see, that goes through a lot of the track, that solo instrument. When you've got something that's so repetitive, I mean, you can literally see my approach to this was pretty much copy and paste, and then sticking like drum fills and switching stuff up at different stages. So, for example of that, you've got this little break here. You know, just little things like that. That switch everything up, but when it's so repetitive, you want to have little things just popping off here and there, just to switch up, just to make it interesting. So for me, that solo instrument was that instrument that was going to be switching up the spaces. So that's the basic. We wrote the whole track just to this one loop. That was it. that really was it. The song was born from that. You know those songs that take 15 minutes to make? It felt like one of those songs. It took longer than 15 minutes, but it felt like one of those types of songs. Now there's one more thing I want to draw your attention to that is, I'm kind of proud of this. I really like this trick. So with a tape delay, essentially what you're doing, you are sending audio into a digital version of a tape machine. And as you change the length of notes and the amount of times you want it to add a delay, like an echo, how many times you want it to echo. As you're changing those live, it scrambles the audio. Let me show you what I mean. Yeah, that almost sounds like Flubber. Do you remember that film? It sounds weird. It sounds so weird on its own. But if I add that in to the vocal track. Sounds so weird on its own. You're probably listening being like, George, that sounds awful. Like, why have you done that? That sounds bad. Well, I was kind of not wanting like a DJ scratch sound, but I wanted a similar sort of effect without it being sort of a cheesy DJ scratch hip-hoppy thing. And that was the idea I came up with. There was no other explanation. I don't know how it came to my mind. I don't know how it worked. But when you hear it in the mix of things, it just adds this weird texture into the background that keeps you hooked. It keeps you subliminally interested. And I probably imagine most of you haven't heard that sound is like going on in the background. But there'll be an interest there that, again, when you have copied and pasted a beat as much as this song is, just adds that bit of interest and keeps you sort of interested, and you're mentally stimulated, and that's what that's intending to do. So in the mix, again, have a listen for that. So you can hear how that works. And then the next stage, just tidying it all up, tightening all the vocals, and sending it off to my guy Mike to mix it. I bet this coffee. Oh! I bet this coffee is cold now. Grim. So that's how that song kind of came about. I know I went quite deep in that actually. You kind of know all my tricks to that song, but I got it out. Anyway, I don't mind sharing them with you. The song's already done, it's already out, so if you copy me, I'll sue you. If you guys are interested or know somebody that might be interested in having their song produced or written with us here on the bus or remotely, I mean, why not? But do let me know, get in touch. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to do them, I think, again in the future for more of the releases from the album. And next week, unless some ridiculous crazy news comes in, I'm gonna work my damn hardest to finally get going on this year's challenge videos. If you have a topic idea or things that you want to see me try and make a song out of, leave them in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this, please do also leave them in the comments below. Let me know what was the thing you were most interested by, that you found most interesting about the production of this song. I'd love to know, because I don't really know outside of my brain what is actually interesting to you guys. So please do let me know. I'm gonna love you and leave you. Thanks so much for the support. If you want to listen to this song, you can find it on Spotify and iTunes. Just type in George Holliday with 2 L's, drop by, and you'll find it. Please add it to a playlist, and I will see you next week. Stay safe, look after each other, and remember, put your coffee down. Never stop creating. The hope on my knuckles are what you punch through. Barely breaking the floorboards that I fell through. When you showed me this was you, this is hell.